Nothing better than a beautiful autumn day in New England. And that brings to mind that the winter's around the corner. We've got lots of hockey on USA. Like Thursday night, USA will be at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit for National Hockey League action. Calgary and the Detroit Red Wings, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on USA Sports. And that is another tackle by Bosa on Albert Smith, the running back. And Kyle, to answer your query about the time of possession, it's obviously rather one-sided so far here in this second half. 9:59 for Rutgers in the third. Boston College 5:01, and that's pretty much the way it went in the first half. The Rutgers ball club has kept the ball on the ground, or they've kept it in possession, but Boston College has struck quickly when they've had possession of the ball. Roy Norton is in defensively on the line now. Bosa has come out. BC has got something going. And defensively, they throw offensively, they throw over the rushing defense. As Alan Andrews, the tight end, curled out, and Tony Thurman, the free safety, made the hit.
Now watch the nose guard work here. It's Dave Pereira. Mike Ruth is the nose guard, number 68, getting double teamed, and you see how strong he is up top. Does get a little bit of help. But a safety blitz by Boston College in the secondary. Pereira comes in, gets picked up by the backfield, and thus Hochberg able to get the pass off.
Total yardage is fairly even, 390 against 343 at this point. Breaking loose is Smith. And Thurman took a bump right on the helmet there, but he hurdled the line, and it was Thurman and Pereira, the two safety men, that pulled him down. And now Albert Smith starting to get some running room.
Take a look. They started this drive on their own 14-yard line. And as you take a look at Albert Smith, you see he not only runs with power, but he's able to sidestep, and he has some good agility in his run as well.
Two tight ends are in the ball game. Now Andrews comes off, and they bring another one in. Now they bring Scott Drake in for Alan Andrews. Bosa has come in. Norton has come out defensively to tackle, and they stretch two wideouts to the near side. Pendergrass and Baker. They go the other way. And that's Smith trying to curl the corner. Can't get there. Ball down very close to the 11-yard line.
Brings to mind one of the things that, again, Flutie does so well. Even on running plays, he can change the side of the run at the line of scrimmage. In that case, Hochberg not really seen that Boston College was overloaded on that side, rolled up on that side, ran with the play, and of course the Rutgers runners running in to lots of numbers.
2nd and 11 from the 11. And a flag on an intentional grounding call. Roy Norton, the defensive tackle, came in there. He sacked his man, and with it, an intentional grounding call, which would mean a loss of a down. And let's see here as the official comes over and he indicates, and let's see, I believe it was an intentional grounding. And Albert Smith, who has 86 yards, and let's get it officially from the head man.
There is no flag. There is no flag.
Not a popular call at all.
Number 33 was in the area. It's an incomplete pass.
Oh, so they had a back in the area. That was Albert Smith, and you saw Smith go over and tell the referee, says, hey, I was close. He really was trying to throw it to me.
He was 20 yards away, but what that is Dick Anderson, as you see Jack Buttnell knowing that the referees got baited on that, and you hate to say that, but referees are human too. They get try to make up for things a little bit, because there's no question in anybody's mind, particularly that man, Buttnell, coach of Boston College, that the intent was not to throw the ball to Albert Smith. The intent was to ground the ball.
Hochberg is 19 for 41. He has over 200 yards, like 212, and he's going to take this opportunity to come over here, and we have a timeout called. We have 12:57 to play in the fourth, and Rutgers is down by 15 points. We're coming to you from BC. We're in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. It's USA Sports and College Football 84.
Introducing the many styles of Ford for 1985. The smooth, elegant look. So sleek.
Thunderbird.
Sophisticated. Luxurious. Tailor-made. from the Ford collection. Look out, here comes Ford's contemporary look for 1985.
Tempo.
Sharp, clean, very versatile. Now, dare to wear Ford's hot look for 1985.
Mustang.
Sassy, flirty, sporty, racy. Are you ready to wear one of our hot, contemporary, elegant designs? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Eddie Doucette and Kyle Rote Jr. from Chestnut Hill, Mass. And BC with a 15-point lead, but here comes Rutgers.
I'll let you be the judge, as Hochberg is certainly within the grasp. Of course, that is not a college rule, that's a pro rule. And there's the throw. He's right there. A little boos from the audience here at Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill.
Hochberg to throw. And not quite to the 6-yard line on a 3rd and 11. They need more than that. Ed Von Nessen on the stop. Andrew Baker was the receiver. Baker now with 9 receptions for the day.
Well, do they go for it or do they kick? And they've decided to kick. Being behind by 15 points. Unless they went for 2 on both touchdowns, they perhaps might also need a field goal. Remember, they have a lot of confidence in Tom Angstadt.
Now he is within chipping distance for him. He's going to kick it from the 13. And he's got it. About 23 yards on the kick. So Angstadt gets a 23-yarder. That's his 3rd field goal of the day, and that's just about on target for him. He's had games of 4 and 5, as we've mentioned, and he's got 3 here today. And so Angstadt, a rather diminutive 160-pounder from Annandale, New Jersey, makes it 35-23 as Rutgers trying to kind of whittle away at that big lead by BC. They mill around the sideline. They go in there to try and cut that herd and find the men that they're going to put on the field right here.
Well, you know, they had the ball 3 times in the second half. They've scored all 3 times. Unfortunately, 2 of those were field goals, 1 the touchdown. But in terms of the second half, they've got 13 points. Boston College 14 points in the second half. And we've just had a lot of scoring. 5 of 6 possessions in the second half have resulted in points.
Plenty of time. Liska will come in to kick off. And it'll be Bell and Tyrone Taylor. That little man is something. He's got blinding quickness. Tyrone is from Connecticut. We saw him sweep the corner and get a score. So the scoring drive for Rutgers, 80 yards, 17 plays, and they took almost 6 minutes doing it. And ended with a 23-yard field goal by Tom Angstadt, his 3rd field goal of the day. They come up short again, prevent any big run in the ball. And it's Kevin Sullivan who returns it again for the 2nd time today. He's a strong safety. He's never had this much fun in a long time. Getting a chance to run back the kicks.
Well, Gary Liska, the kickoff man for Rutgers, obviously with the new rule change this year, not wanting the kickers to kick the ball too deep out of the end zone. A lot of creative kickoff play, and a lot of time being spent by teams in their kicking game.
Not only that, trying to keep it away from another big return to give BC field position as they did in the first kick of the second half. That is Strahan. Boy, he's gotten a lot of work today, hasn't he? And Bukowski and Tyrone Stowe, a tackle and a linebacker on the carry on the hit.
Call this place the stadium where Eagles dare. And they've dared an awful lot the last 4 years, as Bicknell coinciding his arrival here with that of this man, number 22, the quarterback, Doug Flutie. You see I in the secondary reading the keys.
Look at that, 18 for 25. That's a pretty good percentage, isn't it? That's Bell. He takes everybody on. There were 4 men on top of him, 5 by the time it was all over. McHarris was one of them. Cummins was another. They had Steve Twombly in there. He's from Princeton Junction, New Jersey. And there is Rusty Hochberg, the quarterback, trying to figure out what he's going to do when he gets it back the next time round. Peter Casparello and Brendan Murphy, a couple of tight ends, are in on a 3rd and 3. And they'll take Gieselman out of there. And also Kelvin Martin. 3rd and 3. BC 35, Rutgers 23 in the 4th. From the eye. In motion failing. The flute. And it is caught by Strahan. And is it a loose ball? No.
Was down.
They say it was dead, so it'll be BC's ball. They started at the 44. They lost yardage. So on the 3rd and 3, they come up short. The 3rd down conversions have not been a strong suit for BC this year. And they've come up a little shy on it again today. So it's kicking time. Steve Peach, the 3rd string quarterback, will kick to Dan McHarris, who is at the 22. He gets a good kick away. Given ground. And fights back out to the 16-yard line. Boston College 35, Rutgers 23 in the 4th, and the teams will change now, and they'll come out to the field with 9:47 to play in the 4th period. A 48-yard kick, and a good one that time. And we will be back right after this.
All you ghouls and goblins gather round. Time for chills and thrills, so party down. No matter who you like to bite, you're gonna want Coors and Coors Light tonight.
Coors Light's beer whoop is there. Fun is everywhere.
Get ready for excitement when Coors is on the scene.
'Cause anything can happen
On a Coors and Coors Light Halloween.
On the next Sunday Showdown, Lancer helps the young son of an outlaw in his quest to meet his father for the first time.
If my pa don't see me, I won't ever know if he'd even like me. I got a right to know that much, don't I? Don't I, Mr. Lancer?
But soon, the truth about the boy's father is uncovered. Be there when the smoke clears. USA's Sunday Showdown. At 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, tomorrow.
Next week, I think we have a good one for you. Missouri at Oklahoma. Oklahoma #2 in the land. And then, of course, we'll have a chance to see a tough Missouri time at 12 Eastern. We've got a 35-23 ball game right here. And it is Hochberg on a play-action bootleg. And a nice catch by Andrew Baker. Boy, he has excellent hands, this fella. And I think that's probably his 10th reception for the day. Double check that for you and find out. That's number 10. He's over 100 yards.
Take a look at the deep route. You've got a sprint out by Hochberg to the right. He cuts it. It's read pretty well by the secondary. It's Todd Russell, 45 for Boston College, but the pass is right on the money. And right at the first down.
Andrew Baker looks like he wants to make the professionals his career. When this one is all over with, as they give it over here to Vernon Williams. Gorecki Norton.
Tell you, when Flutie is playing, there's not a lot of security in the parking lot. You see all the policemen have come in to watch the fabulous one as tries to keep Boston College, lead them to their 3rd consecutive bowl game, which would be an all-time record for this school.
Didn't the Pied Piper play a flute?
Yeah.
He got over everybody following him now. Baker on the far side. Pendergrass is on the near side for Rutgers. 2nd and 9. And that time Baker is hit by Neil Eiton. So it's 3rd down and 9, and this is one possession that Rutgers does not want to give up because time is running out, and they trail it by 12. 35-23. Boston College.
Oh my
Wisconsin
goodness.
and Ohio State. Oh boy, 4th quarter. Pennsylvania 24, Yale 13. Holy Cross over Brown in the third. Updating on the scores. Norden has come in. Bosa has come out defensively. Got the blitz going. Linebackers are moving. Flags all over, and a completed pass at the 40. About the 39, actually. And that is Boris Pendergrass, the hurdler. We may have a holding call coming up here against. Let's see.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Sure was. 10 yards. That'll take away a nice gain. I would have put the ball up near first down territory. Dick Anderson, that's a penalty that he is not happy about. You're never happy with penalties, but particularly one that may have wiped out a continuation of the drive. Colgate, and now we see Dartmouth and Cornell all tied. That's in the third. Harvard and Princeton, that's usually a very good game. 14-7 in the third. South Carolina continuing undefeated at this point, number 9 in the nation. Syracuse over Army now. They've come back in the third. Oklahoma 3, Kansas nothing in the second. Kansas gets up for that one. Mississippi over Auburn, the number 12 team, 14-0 in the second. Surprise. Baker and Pendergrass stretched to the far side as wideouts. Over the middle. And the tight end got behind the linebacker.
But not behind the safety. Yeah.
Baker, incidentally, has 10 receptions for 120 yards, and so now it's a 4th and 18 or 19. Kansas State trailing Nebraska in the second in a Big 8 game. We'll be out there next week, as we've already told you, Missouri and Oklahoma. Rutgers with 7 penalties, and that's not helped for 63 yards. So BC with their man getting set to receive. That'll be Kelvin Martin standing at the 47-yard line. His own 47. Good kick by Liska. And Martin comes up and pulls it in at the 48. No return. Oh, the clock stops with 8:42. Jack Bicknell, he's got his own little headset there that says coach on it. I guess maybe maybe that was what they gave him when he first came here. They should know who he is now. It's 35-23 in the fourth. We're on USA Sports, and it's fall in New England.
Hey, you know what my job is? Well, this is my office, a movie set. Yeah, I'm a stuntman, and I depend on my equipment.
That's why Terry Leonard likes a tough Ford Ranger like this one. With a V6 engine, no small V6 tops for power. Tough twin I-beam suspension, a strong ladder-type frame, tough double-box walls, and the widest cab in its class.
That's terrific, Terry! It's easy for my Ford Ranger and me.
The best-built American trucks are built Ford Tough.
Some make greatness look simple, like the great Gretzky and Canon's new vision of photography, the inspiring T70. With the pure agility, the complete versatility of touch button control and 3 distinct program modes. Now, Canon makes it simple to handle any shot. The inspiring Canon T70.
It makes the great shot simple.
Boston College 35, Rutgers 23. We have 8:42 to play in the fourth. And there he is. He's moving up the ladder. Bennett, McMahon, Elway, Herman, and Flutie. And you can see the difference. And now in that number 2 position, total offense leader. He's not that far away, and games to play.
65 away right there. And
he is going to go over that 10,000 mark if he is not injured. An incredible performance for a fellow that's 5'9½". And came here as a 5th string quarterback. Martin and Phelan, the wide receivers. He dropped the snap. And Flutie dives back in there. And I think Rutgers has retained possession of the ball. Tyrone Stowe, the linebacker, was really pressuring over the center. And that was a miscommunication on the snap that time.
Take a look as begins to back out a little bit early than he should, and in the case that's a 2nd string center, so that very well could have had a lot to do with it. That's Mark Gowetzky, number 58.
You get used to working with one man and it can make a difference. And there's the fellow that jumps down. He's played a good game. In fact, both their linebackers, Oak and Stowe, have done a nice job. All right, you've got Hochberg. You saw the turnovers in an I formation. A receiver to the near and to the far side. Play action fake. And this guy's not going for anything. That's Scott Harrington. Oh, Harrington not going for that at all. Oh, what a nice job he did. And he just blew by the blocker on that one. By saying that sometime.
Well, I was getting ready to say that this is the first time that Rutgers has had the ball in plus territory. The first time they got the ball in Boston College territory. But now they're back on their own 37 because of that tremendous rush by Harrington.
Good-sized kid, huh? Westwood, Mass. Tony Rigoli's come in at that right tackle spot now to see if they can give Harrington a little bit more resistance. And coming near side is Vernon Williams. Ball carrier, Dave Thomas, tri-captain, defensive end. Peter Holy was also there. Oh, interestingly enough, Boston College has, in the last 5 years, had the 7th toughest schedule in the college circuit, the NC2A. 35-23, ball on the 42. It's a 3rd and 20. Rutgers. Pendergrass and Baker stretch to the far side. Hochberg. Flag thrown. Interception, the second one for Tony Thurman. That's number 9 for the year. And look at him give that old Bobby Orr routine. Looks like he's got blades on out there. It was intended for Alan Andrews, but Boston College, it may have been a holding call against Rutgers, and they probably will just say, hey, BC, we want to take the ball.
Hochberg does get outside. He's got the speedster on the outside, but he really underthrows him. And that's a situation where Hochberg, because he had been under so much pressure all the day, tries to throw on the run. He had enough time to really get set and lay the ball out there so his receiver could run under it, but he doesn't do that.
7:02 to play in the 4th. 1st and 10 from the 40. Flutie's in there again. Split back, straight drop. Intercepted. They get it right back. Boy, that is rare for Flutie. You don't see him have that kind of a problem. That's the 2nd interception today on a Flutie pass, and it's Jim Pickell. We've seen him do that before also. You saw it in our highlights earlier.
Well, he's only had 1 game in which he's had a multiple interception. That was the game earlier this year against Temple when he had 3 after being put under a lot of pressure. But that was just un-Flutie-like. He was not under a lot of pressure and just threw into some coverage.
Well, that's what Rutgers needed, however, Kyle, because of the time remaining, 6:53, they trail by 12. They have to put something on the board soon. Strong right. Smith, and I believe the nose guard, Mike Ruth, has made another tackle. Hey, he's a nice-looking player, this kid. Ruth, watch him right over the center there.
Here's the isolation. He fights it off again. You can't hit him high because he can bench press 2 of you. He can bench press about 540 pounds. Even if you're 270, you're not going to beat him upstairs.
Well, that time he was on his knees. The ball carrier had all the momentum, and he was dragging him, but he just pulled him down with his arms. Vernon Williams is the lone running back. Good block. And they pass under the coverage. Andrew Baker. And he runs it out of bounds. Not only can he catch, he can run. He's having a fine day, Baker. That's his 11th reception, and he is over 120 yards.
I think after that reception, when he started running, he thought he could outrun the secondary. Then as soon as he got to the sideline, decided, yeah, let's stop the clock right now. I don't want to get hit by 3 people.
They did at 6:09. Hooper comes in. They're going to bring number 82, Brian Cobb, out of the game, and Hooper will come back in for him. Boris Pendergrass. Elsewhere, they've got 81. Baker is a flanker on the near side with Williams and Hooper, the running backs. There's Baker in motion. Tries to hurdle the line, and someone got stepped upon for sure. Gorecki, the tackler. And underneath, Roy Norton also got a piece for Jack Bicknell. Well, he lost a couple of kids on injuries. One a linebacker, John Galvin, and another Jim Brown in the first half with a knee injury.
You know, Eddie, the great players don't take too much time to correct their mistakes. Flutie's behind the BC bench throwing the ball, trying to correct what happened on that last pass.
35-23. And again, it's Baker. Boy, is he something, huh? Peter Holy and Pereira. And that's the 12th reception now, and he has over 130 yards, close to 140, and down inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. 5:34 to play here in the fourth period. Clock stopped momentarily. They let it go right now. Rutgers breaks, and here comes Hochberg with his team. Baker and Pendergrass, near side. Tony Williams. Tony Thurman on the tackle.
I didn't hear any reflection.
And BC wants a timeout.
Tell you what, they are well within reach here. You talk about 2 quick touchdowns. Rutgers continuing to drive, and it's a different ball game. And they're in the lead.
Well, they got a breather, but then they start the clock again, and it's moving down to 5:10. It's Williams, and he gets close to the 10-yard line. Well, Rutgers is really giving BC a test today. Bill Romanowski, a freshman reserve linebacker, and Flutie over there warming up, as we had indicated, just trying to get that release point. Maybe see if he can figure out if he did something wrong. Romanowski was listed as a linebacker, a fullback, coming into today's game. When they announced the 2 starting linebackers injured, they moved him back to a linebacker where he originally was recruited. He's in there now. That's Hooper. And he gets to the 7.
So you look inside, and Rutgers is sacrificing 2 people every time on Mike Ruth, that nose guard for Boston College. No matter what the play, they just do not want to let Ruth get involved in the defensive scheme.
Well, that's a sacrifice, too. I mean, you put somebody, he's worn down 2 centers already today. Baker in the game, in motion, 12 receptions, 141 yards. Double tight end. 3rd and 3. And trying to get up and go is Hooper.
He's saying, you may have flipped me, but I didn't touch the ground with anything but feet and hands.
3:50 to play, and they're trying to get down there and keep this thing going. We're going to have a time here to measure.
Take a look at the run as Dwayne Hooper runs in, flips, touches the ground with the hand, but does get, I guess, stopped, and they blew the whistle. But he didn't, you can touch the ball with your feet, touch the ground with your feet or your hands and stay up, but I guess they're going to say his momentum got stopped.
Scott Harrington, the defensive tackle and one of the tri-captains for BC, and now they'll measure, and they're shy. So they have about a foot to go here for a first down. Ball is not about the 4-yard line. Baker, incidentally, is Rutgers' all-time career leader in receptions, and I can understand why. He is a dandy. Perrell has come in. Pereira has come out. So an extra defensive lineman in there on a 4th and 1 from the 4. Andrews and Drake, double tight ends to block. Baker in motion. They wrap him up, but I believe he got the first. He needed about a foot, less than a yard.
Yeah, he got the first. He got a good pickup the first time he tried the flip. This time he looks like Mary Lou Retton here. Let's take a watch. Jumps up, gets hit low, flips, maintains his feet. He's going to complain. He's going to ask the NCAA Rules Committee to make a new ruling in the offseason.
We're at the 3, 1st and goal, and we have a timeout for Rutgers. So Rutgers will take one of their timeouts, and with time running out, 3:22. Rutgers trailing by 12, and we'll be back right after this.
All you ghouls and goblins gather round. Time for chills and thrills, so party down. No matter who you like to bite, you're gonna want Coors and Coors Light tonight.
Coors Light's beer whoop is there. Fun is everywhere.
Get ready for excitement when Coors is on the scene.
'Cause anything can happen.
on a Coors Light Halloween.
The USA Network presents a special event, Evita Peron, the true story of a woman's willful struggle to be somebody, no matter what. She loved one man.
If you do what I say, no man in Argentina would touch you.
She seduced a nation.
I have a terrible longing to leave something behind.
James Farentino stars with Faye Dunaway as Evita Peron, a special two-part USA premiere event at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, tomorrow and Monday.
It's 35-23, and we're in the final moments of this game. 3:22 to play, and Rutgers with the ball and needing 12 points. Hochberg is 23 of 48 for 249 yards unofficially. I do not know whether that is a career high on attempts. It's got to be close. He's going to try it again. And the defense has held. So it'll bring up a second down and goal situation. Bill Romanowski almost had the football, intended for Hooper. Running back, as Eric Hochberg has had 49 attempts. We came here expecting to see Flutie put it in the air, and we've seen his adversary on the other side of the line do a pretty good Flutie imitation. 2nd and 3. Baker in motion. Pitch back, blocking on the left. Hooper to the 2. Oh, they're going to have to really battle to get this thing in. Down to 3:09. Clock is still rolling. Rutgers really giving them a battle. We're down to the 3-minute mark now and under. In comes Albert Smith. Out comes Baker. Rusty Hochberg. You've got Andrews and Drake, double tight ends with a 3rd and 2. Ball is on the 2. Cooper now has 33 yards on 13 carries. Line up in a power I, and now we've got a timeout. BC's going to take a time. Well, Rutgers only had 1 timeout remaining, so that's a break for Rutgers. With 2:38 to play here in the game, it's 35-23.
Take a look at a man that is closing in on those records. Record for Rutgers in completions is 29. And the record for Rutgers in terms of attempts, 52. That was by Rich Policastro against Lehigh in 1969. Actually, Policastro holds both of those records, the 29 completions in a game record as well as the 52 attempts. So for Rutgers, a team that has not enjoyed a lot of statistical success, 3-8 last year, though I think they were more competitive than that. The 5-2 record at the moment, and in a position to pick a plum off the top 10 tree, as they've got Boston College in a pretty good situation. Obviously, they'll have to score and get the ball back, but a lot of people felt coming into this game with Boston College as a 14-plus point favorite that Rutgers would be doing very well to be within this margin, about 12 points here in the 4th.
Rutgers so far with 249 yards via the air, 171 yards in the ground, 420 total yards. BC 104 on rushing, 291 passing, 395. Rutgers had the measure of it. Good rush, weak side. Oh, just off the fingertips of the tight end. And that is Alan Andrews.
That was a real good pass by Hochberg. Andrews was double teamed. He made a good move inside and under a lot of pressure. Is he getting pressure inside from David Pereira, the strong safety, is blitzing, and Andrews gets out there, and it really wasn't a bad pass by Hochberg in that situation. Obviously, he'd love to have it back and loft it a little bit more to give Andrews time to run under it.
They have to go for it. 4th and 2. Near side is Andrew Baker. Extra tight end. In motion is Hooper. Rusty Hochberg.
Touchdown. No.
Wait just a moment.
He took it out of his hands. If it breaks the plane in the end zone with possession, for Rutgers, it's a touchdown, even if he takes it out of his hands before he's knocked down. Boy, I'd hate to be a referee at this point. My goodness. Take a look again. Hochberg on the rollout. He's got 3 receivers in the end zone. There's the throw. It looks like his man's got it in the end zone.
It's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. It's going to be Boston College's ball.
And the Rutgers sideline is very upset. Let's take a look. Here's Andrews. If he's in the end zone, has possession, he has possession.
Oh,
I
yes.
thought right there, that's why it was a touchdown.
Why would it be an incomplete pass at that point?
Have no idea, because the ball never hit the ground. If anything, Pereira came up with the ball, 41 for an interception. So it's got to either be a touchdown or an interception.
So on 4th down conversion attempts, Rutgers 1 for 2, and that's a tough way to go right there. I believe they should have had one with 2:24 to play here in the ball game. Jack Bicknell will watch his team take over, and they're just going to try and chew up the clock here, I believe. Unless, well, you never know with Flutie. Got a lot of blockers in there. 1st and 10. And as he rolls out, and it's incomplete. He may have been beyond the line of scrimmage. It almost looked like he was.
And I would doubt it. He has such a great sense of where he is on the field. He was right at the margin, though, I think. Phelan dropping the pass, and that's unusual.
So on the incompleted pass, they did what they didn't want to do. They stopped the clock with 2:16. In a game that has already been elongated by so many passes on both sides. Rutgers with a timeout, BC with a couple. Phelan and Martin are the wideouts out of the I formation, 2nd and 10 from the 2. And the throw again. He's got Martin. Good move. Almost a good move to beat Twomley on the near side. Wasn't not quite, and they get the 1st down.
That's what made it a good move anyway.
Here's the man identified by his headset, the coach, firing some signals out there. Well, he's brought them a rekindling of a tradition that had been lost for 40 years. As young Flutie had taken the BC Eagles to a bowl, 1st time in 40 years, and I think Bicknell's got this thing on the way back. Multiple offense, you see the motion, more motion, Bell in motion. And right now, the Rutgers team trying to strip, flag call, or flag thrown. After the whistle, a little extracurricular, Barry Bukowski and Tom
Personal
Duffy.
foul on the tackle.
Personal foul, and the frustration will rise to the top now as they call it against the defense, and that doesn't help. We're down to the final minute and 42 seconds, and they'll walk it off.
It's a real critical time for Dick Anderson to make sure, as we listen to the call. Here it is.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, 15 yards on the defense, 1st down.
Anderson is such a classy guy, and you don't want to come out of a game saying it's the referee's fault or let your players begin to think that they can use that ever as an excuse, and I don't think he'll do that. I do think the referee's made a mistake, but I don't think you can ever let your players believe that's the reason that they lost.
Brendan Murphy, 3rd string tight end, is in there now to block, and they'll give it to Strahan. And the clock will, let's see, right there at 1:25, they'll stop it and they'll take a timeout. Rutgers taking its final. Incidentally, Flutie, 20 of 29. The young man right there, 305 yards. He's had 25 yards rushing, 3 touchdown passes, a touchdown run. And as we wrap this one up, you go away asking the question everybody's asking. Does he have enough to win the Heisman Trophy?
Yeah, I think he's got people's fascination. He has the charisma. He's playing in the Northeast, which frankly is an advantage for him because so many of the voters are from this area. He's got the New York press behind him. He finished 3rd last year, so he's not an unknown. And he's playing on a very high-scoring ball club that is built around his abilities. The fact that Boston College may not finish much higher in the rankings is perhaps because they give up a lot of points too. And as we said, Boston College giving up over 19 points a game, they just happen to score so many. They're over 35, and that puts them 4th in the country. So they're just going to have to outscore you, and typically the teams that finish top 1, 2, and 3 in the country are those that have a good defense too, and Boston College really doesn't have that.
Peter Casparello has come in at a tight end. Flutie and Giaquinto are also in for BC. There they are, spread to the far side. Flutie on the drop. Complete again. Ken Bell, running back.
That's spearing. Not only was it a late hit, he speared him.
Stops the clock, though. 1:17 to play. Rutgers trying to find a way to get it back. I think it's going to go for naught. And it all comes back to some problems that they had earlier, of course, in both these teams taking advantage of the other team's mistakes. And it's going to be a big one, a 15-yarder, and that gets it inside the Rutgers territory. And let's hear it officially.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, late hit on the defense, first down.
It's a nightmare for a referee because your primary role and goal is to get healthy players on and off the field, and when the game gets to this point, you don't want to see cheap shots like that taken because it means the game's really gotten out of your control.
Ken Bell trying to work his way down to the 30-yard line. Off the ball, Giaquinto and one of the kids from Rutgers getting into it, Twomley, and another flag thrown. And now it becomes a little unsportsmanlike at times because you can tell that there's a lot of frustration. And Rutgers, of course, trying to vent their spleen, if you will, and this is not helping matters either.
Could very well be offsetting. I'm imagining calling on both.
It's a dead ball foul, a personal foul against the offense. It's going to be second down.
Well, even things up a little bit. Joe Giaquinto gets the call against him. And this is where, as a quarterback, you come in and you say to yourself, as you take a look at Doug Flutie's day, not a bad percentage either. Puts him up close to 70% on the day. But as a quarterback in this situation, you don't want college football, as great a game as it is, to fall into something that sets a bad example. He wants to keep his players healthy for the rest of the season, too.
35-23 is our score. Boston College with the lead and the ball. We're down to the final 40 seconds in this football game, and BC's going to go 5-1, and Rutgers 5-3. Ken Bell. A blocker out in front. And Bell still rolling around. That was Mark Bardwell, the left guard, who was leading the way. We've had a lot of help today, and I'd like to thank the folks. Boston College, SID Reed Ostlin has been tremendous. Rutgers SID Bob Smith, very cooperative. Our statistician, Kevin Cummings, has been great. And our two spotters, Reed Stacy and Jim Foley, have been exceptional. And it's all over as they let it run out. And Boston College and Jack Bicknell frayed a little bit by tempers that got offline at the end. Nevertheless, BC comes home a winner. Boston College 35, Rutgers 23. As Bicknell comes to the sideline, and we will be back to wrap it all up for you right after this on USA Sports. College Football 84 has visited Boston, and BC comes away with a winner.